Franklin County Commission is now back in session. We're going next to Ms. Erin Griffith for her report. Ms. Erin, please proceed.
Okay, Commissioners, first item, the tax collector server and router. At the February 21st meeting, the board approved the cancellation settlement of the contract with Government Software Assurance Corporation for the tax collector's office. At the same meeting, the board also approved depositing the settlement proceeds to the county's general fund and allocated approximately $69,867.92 of the $180,000 for hardware upgrades in the tax collector's office. The settlement check has been received, and the final hardware quotes from NetSouth, the contracted IT services provider for the tax collector's office, total $70,167.92 with freight. Board action to approve and authorize the issuance of 2 purchase orders for the attached hardware quotes.
So move.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Ward, second by Commissioner Sanders. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That's unanimous.
Next item, number 2, the Florida Department of Transportation has completed their preliminary review of the 2 transportation alternatives applications the county submitted in February, River Road and Alligator Drive multi-use paths. The attached document says the county supports the projects, will provide any pledge match, which there was none, and will maintain the project. Board action to grant retroactive approval for the chairman to have signed the certification of project sponsor forms on May 2nd for both the River Road multi-use path and the Alligator Drive multi-use path.
So move.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Ward, second by Commissioner Amison. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? 4-0, unanimous.
Okay, next item. At the last meeting, only 1 bid was received for the next phase of the airport obstruction removal project. Based on the bid submitted by Collins Land Services, Avcon prepared the attached FAA grant application package for county signature and submittal to the FAA. Avcon has received approval from the FAA to proceed with awarding the base bid and alternates A, C, and E shown in the aerial below once the grant application is processed and the agreement signed. Board action to approve and authorize the chairman's signature on the FAA grant application for the next phase of the airport obstruction removal project. And I did need to have a separate action item on there, which I did not because there was also a task order from Avcon included in that packet as well. So we may need to call for public comment on that one.
Okay, but for now, we're just talking about the phase 2 of the removal.
That's correct.
Okay. Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
Okay, a motion to approve by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Amison. Any discussion?
I got this is just right there, line of sight from the runways coming together, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That's unanimous. Now, what's the other thing, Ms. Erin?
The other item was also the task order from Avcon, which is the airport engineers, and that was for $59,700, and it's professional grant coordination, bid, and construction phase services for the obstruction removal phase 2 for the project.
Okay, and that was not included in the packet?
It was included in the packet. I just forgot to list it out separately as
Okay.
needing action.
Okay, so it needs separate action.
Correct.
Okay. Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
A motion to approve by Commissioner Amison,
Second.
second by Commissioner Sanders. So you're saying that it needs to be, but we need to call for public comment because it wasn't delineated as a
Correct.
separate action item, correct?
Correct.
Okay, is there anyone in the room that would like to comment on this publicly before we proceed? It was not listed in our agenda as a separate action item. Seeing none, sir, please ask if there are any online.
All those
Watching
attending by
on
Zoom, the chairman has asked if you'd like to comment on this item as it was not on the Aaron's report. No hands raised, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, any more discussion before we vote? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That's unanimous.
Okay, Commissioners, the next item is item number 4. The request for additional funding for the airport fuel farm project was approved at the bi-monthly Triumph Gulf Coast Board meeting on Thursday, May 11th. After 3 attempts to solicit bids on the project, only 1 bid was received that exceeded the grant award. The attached amendment to the grant agreement increases the funding for the project from Restore's Triumph Gulf Coast program from $1,059,000 to $2,311,182. This amount will fund the sole bid, and once the attached agreement is fully executed, the county can move forward with issuing the notice of award and construction contract documents at the next meeting. Board action to approve and authorize the chairman's signature on the attached amendment to the grant award agreement.
So moved.
Have a motion to approve by Commissioner Amison,
Second.
second by Commissioner Ward. Any discussion, Commissioner? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That's a 4-0 vote, unanimous.
Okay, Commissioners, next item is item number 5. At the June 15th, 2021 meeting, the board approved the Region 1 GIS Mapping Grant NG 911 grant agreement. This was a 5-year grant program which interfaces mapping data within the region and leverages technology to enhance response times, along with providing additional mapping detail and services to process incoming 911 calls. Years 2 through 5 of the project are covered by a separate grant agreement which also required the chairman's signature. The E911 coordinator has requested retroactive approval of the attached, as years 2 through 5 began on April 1st, 2022. Board action to grant retroactive approval of the agreement to April 1st, 2022, and authorize the chairman to sign the attached grant agreement for years 2 through 5 of the regional NG 911 project.
So moved.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Amison. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That's unanimous.
Okay, next item number 6. In October of 2021, Franklin County issued purchase orders for the 2 landfill roll-off trucks, which were approved as part of the 21-22 budget process. At that time, it was estimated that the trucks would take around 8 to 12 months for delivery. Unfortunately, after numerous delays, there is still no firm manufacturing date for the 2 trucks from Ward International. Ward International did attempt to quote another make and model truck for Franklin County, but the truck was around $30,000 over the prior approved contract price. On May 8th, after waiting 20 months and still receiving no indication of a manufacturing date, the landfill director, Fonda Davis, asked for cancellation of the orders. Nextran Truck Centers of Tallahassee has since been able to locate 2 comparable 2024 Mack trucks through contract pricing with the Florida Sheriff's Association. The cost difference for the 30,000-pound hook hoist truck is a cost increase of $16,838.12, and the cost difference for the 20,000-pound hook hoist truck is $13,973 from the original purchase orders issued 20 months ago. This purchase was to be paid from the county's capital outlay fund with annual payments from the department. The 2 Mack trucks quoted by Nextran are already on the lot and can be ready with the hook hoist attachments within 3 months. Board action to formally acknowledge the cancellation of purchase orders 22-8940 and 22-8941 and approve the issuance of 2 new purchase orders to Nextran of Tallahassee for the 20,000-pound and 30,000-pound hook hoist roll-off trucks per the Florida Sheriff's Association contract pricing.
Ms. Aaron, I'm good with whatever the board wants to do, but I do want to ask something for clarification. So I know we had a problem getting the first trucks, and, but going strictly by what's written here, then they did try to make a quote for, I guess, different trucks, and it was $30,000 different. But looking down in the narrative, that's basically what we're still paying, is $30,000 more.
That was actually $30,000 for 1 truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's,
Yeah.
I understand that. I just didn't, anyway.
Yeah. They
My
didn't
bad.
even offer a substitution for the other truck,
Oh,
so.
wow.
we-
Okay. Thank you. Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Sanders,
Second.
second by Commissioner Ward. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That's a 4-0 vote.
Okay, next item is item number 7. On Saturday, June 3rd, Florida Auction Network will host a county equipment auction on site at 9:00 a.m. And I just talked to him earlier, and Chapman Auditorium, unfortunately there's so many items now, it will not be at Chapman Auditorium. It will actually be moved to the Franklin County Road Department because we had a lot more items come in than what we thought. The county equipment auction, let's see, there will be a chance for interested parties to preview the items a day before the auction if interested. And as soon as the auction flyer is available, we will post it to the county website along with a list of the authorized equipment approved today. Attached to my report, board action to approve the removal from inventory and authorize the sale of the attached list of surplus equipment at the upcoming auction on Saturday, June 3rd. And as you all can see the list that's actually included, there's a lot of office equipment. There's also the chairs from Chapman Auditorium, which we did have a positive development there. 15 to 20 of those chairs are actually going to be repurposed and used at the Apalachicola Maritime Museum as part of their little theater room. So those chairs will still remain in the community. And then also just a number of, old trailers, bookshelves, and a lot of vehicles from the early 2000s. And one item also to note, I know initially we had actually planned on repurposing the bricks that were salvaged from the Island View Park. However, they've been sitting on pallets in the landfill. Right now there's starting to be a lot of weeds growing up through the pallets and such, and just because we don't have an immediate use for those, the Parks and Recreation Director has requested that they also be sent to auction. So that's something that I know the public was very interested in when we were actually trying to salvage those blocks as well.
Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Ward, second by Commissioner Sanders. Any discussion?
Swiffer wet jet?
It's on there.
Emergency management really did a lot of cleaning.
Yeah,
I guess they did.
they got everything on there. Bunch of stuff.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That's unanimous.
Okay, next item number 8, at the February 7th, 2023 meeting, the board authorized the issuance of a purchase order for the budgeted excavator for the Franklin County Road Department, which will also be shared by the Mosquito Control Department. Ring Power and the Road Department have since determined that the Caterpillar 309 hydraulic excavator will be better suited than the 310 that was originally quoted. Board action to acknowledge the cancellation of purchase order 23-8977 for $199,374 for the Caterpillar 310 and to issue a new purchase order for $197,903 for the Caterpillar 309 per the attached quote based upon Florida Sheriff's Association contract pricing.
So moved.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Sanders,
Second.
second by Commissioner Amison. Any discussion?
Yeah, just a quick question, Aaron. The Florida Sheriff's Association, we're going through them to help with the cost, correct? I just wanted to make sure that we noted that for the record. So any way we can save money?
Any additional discussion, Commissioners? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That's unanimous.
Okay, next item, item number 9. Board action to approve issuance of a manual check to Coastal Dredging Company Incorporated for the $275,000 in additional dredge work pending receipt of the fully executed contract documents approved at the May 2nd, 2023 meeting, and also the receipt of their W-9 form.
Pleasure of the board.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Commissioner Ward, second by Commissioner Sanders. Any discussion? Just,
Thought we already done
no, we never paid it because we had that public, we called a special meeting about it. And we just never, we never got around to actually giving them their money. That's what this is about.
that. They done?
They should be done in about 2 weeks. I will say this, just so the public is aware, so since we had a special meeting and we talked to the dredge contractors doing the East Point Channel specifically about the way it was being done. They brought a traditional looking dredge and they have been since working 24/7 on that project. Now, it's still taking a slow go because it hasn't been done since the late 70s. So they've picked up anything that people used to use for anchors, engine blocks, there's all kind of stuff in that channel. But they are getting closer to being done, and this $275,000 is money that's being used out of tourist development tax dollars that can be used for channels, estuaries, that kind of thing, to make sure that the contract was going to go out both ends of the channel and not stop short of it. So that's what this is, in case anybody's wondering. But yeah, we haven't paid it yet.
Mr. Chairman, at the last minute meeting, you mentioned that you were going to ride out there and check the depth
Mhm.
of the channel. Is it the right depth it's supposed to be?
For the most part, it is, and I will tell you, I'm supposed to meet with Mr. Levi Lemoyne, the only one that attended that special meeting, tomorrow he's in town, he's gonna be in town tomorrow, and he's got the actual reports where they've checked it. And I'm not only gonna be able to look at those reports, I'm also gonna ask him to make those reports available to the board so we can, you know what I mean, address and make sure it's being done properly, just
Yeah,
like it needs to be done in
It's
that
like you
way.
said the last meeting, if they don't have the depth in there,
No,
we're wasting our
that's
time
right.
and money.
Well, I thought there was supposed to be a survey done post.
That's what we're saying, yeah.
Okay.
That's what we're
Yeah,
talking about.
some of those, but
So
some of
that-
those survey documents they already have for like areas they said they're done with,
Mhm.
he's gonna let me look at those tomorrow. That's
Well,
what I'm
who's
saying.
doing the survey? Is the Corps sending?
Corps.
Yeah, they're sending
Yes.
their own survey.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but they have to, it's done in conjunction with the contractor though.
Okay.
So he also has a
I
copy
just
of
didn't know
it
if he
as
was
well.
policing himself. so-
No. Well, I'm sure they probably check it before the Corps does. The last thing, I mean, I would think if I was working for somebody else, the last thing I wanna do is kind of get slapped on the head and say, I'm not doing it right, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I'm sure they check it themselves, but anyway, just to make sure the public is aware that's what this is about. Any more discussion before we vote? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That's unanimous. Anything
Okay.
else, Ms. Aaron?
Okay, next item is item number 10. Attached to this report is the final copy of the wave analysis performed by MRD and Associates for Dewberry Engineers as part of the SGI Boat Ramp Improvement Design Project. The original draft concept called for a floating wave attenuation device. However, the study determined that the water depth and the wind direction was such that a floating groin would not be effective at the location. After modeling the various design alternatives, the most effective design proved to be a pile-supported vertical pile breakwater that was approximately 155 feet long and 75 feet from the mouth of the basin. This design would reduce the 4.7-foot incident waves to less than 1 foot within the boat ramp's basin. The proposed wall would also provide calm water in the temporary mooring location on the side of the seawall beside the ramp. Engineers will now pursue the pile-supported vertical panel breakwater for the design as suggested in the wave analysis report. The concept sketch of the proposed wave wall structure is pasted below from the analysis report. And I do have that, just as part of my report for public information. And then also for other project updates, the Carabel Beach Park project is underway. Actually, the eastern side of the pavilions have been roped off from public traffic. They do have 120 days to complete that project.
I was gonna ask that, because I've gone out there several times and not seen anybody.
Yeah,
Any work being done. There's
yeah.
signs and it's fenced off, but, 3 times I've gone out there on different separate occasions and it's crickets. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's what I was gonna ask,
Yeah.
if they do have a time limit as to
They
when
do.
they're supposed to be finished.
Yep.
Okay, so 120 days.
120 days. Yep, and that's
Get down to
from
the wire.
Yeah.
Is that 120 days on each side, like, or the whole park? Like,
It
what-
was actually 120 days from April 20th.
So, for the whole entire park, not
Correct.
like one section and then another 120?
Yep, correct. So
And
yes.
I'm like Commissioner Ward, I went by there every day, just about it, and no one's been there. And everybody's so crowded on that other side, and the local folks are saying, why can't we use the beach park?
Yeah, yeah.
It's under construction, there's no construction.
Yeah.
going on.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The new fence looks nice, I guess.
Yeah, orange fence and the big old
Does make a
sign.
difference.
Yeah, and actually the other playground projects, the refurbishment efforts that we approved at the last board meeting for DW Wilson, Vrooman Park, and also Kendrick Park, all of the parts and pieces have been ordered, and we're expecting them on site within 6 to 8 weeks. Next week, they'll start installing the lights at Vrooman Park. And also the playground installers were on site yesterday working on the St. George Island Playground. And by the end of the week, the actual equipment will be in, and then the 2 weeks after that, the surfacing will be complete, and then probably by mid-June, users will be able to enjoy the parks.
Good. Thank you for the update, Ms. Aaron. I want to ask you a question. So there are a few minor things that I need to address over by the boat ramp on the island.
Okay.
Is that something I can do with the road department, or does it have to be done with somebody else? Some of it's just moving the signs and moving the bumpers.
Oh.
What's there is really
Okay.
still causing some issues with the way they have to pull their boat in and back it in. Some of the parking and where some of the signage is located, it's actually causing people a problem.
Okay,
Um,
okay. The
is that s-
signage would probably be,
Just Howard, so we can just
I
move
would
it?
say,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Mm-hmm. Anything else from Ms. Griffith before we proceed? You're getting off light today. Thank you, Ms. Aaron. Mr. Morone?
Okay, Commissioners, page 8 of 12. Item 1, attached to my report, you have 2 airport FDOT public transportation grant agreements. One of $800,000 for the pavement rehab, the runways, taxiways, aprons, etc. And the second is $400,000 for design and construct upgrades to the hangar roof. You guys have been discussing these projects for quite some months now with Mr. Collins, so here's the money. I just need you guys to authorize the chairman to sign the grant agreements and the resolutions that go along with these grant agreements.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Ward, second by Commissioner Sanders. Mr. Morone, it's fine to do these as one motion?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Just
Resolution,
making
and
sure.
yes.
Okay. Any additional discussion?
Yeah, I've got a question.
Huh?
This is strictly Florida DOT or is FAA?
Well,
They're carrying 100%
yeah,
of it,
FDOT
right?
sends the agreements. I don't know how much money from FAA goes in. I'll find out for you, sir. Yeah.
I think it is a mixture.
Yeah, it usually
said
is.
FAA grant, then I didn't see it in the description. It
Yeah,
was just
it
like it was
usually-
coming off from Florida.
It usually where is FAA will fund and FDOT will put the match so we don't have to.
Okay.
That's how it
That
usually
was
works.
just, that's what I was getting.
Well, I'll get that split for you.
All right, any additional discussion? All in favor? All opposed? That's unanimous.
Item item 2, you got, the last meeting when Chairman Jones brought up the, using ARPC to do the graphic design, their staff to design a new logo. Attorney Schuler, you guys want Attorney Schuler to look at it? He did, and he's reviewed the agreements. It's ready for your approval and chairman's signature.
Pleasure of the board.
I saw it. You saw it?
What's it look like?
Well, they hadn't designed it yet.
No, they haven't designed it yet. This is
Oh,
the
I
agreement to
thought-
allow them to design it. I'm sorry. Did I
Okay.
word that incorrect?
Yeah, a
This,
little
Sticking something.
bit. A little-
Yes.
threw me off.
my bad. I'm
This is
sorry.
to allow.
Yeah,
design.
yes, this is the agreement, and then we're gonna bring back, I think at least 3 different options they'll
Yes.
bring back to the board, and then you guys will get to pick one and use it, because, Mr. Solomon is chomping at the bits because he wants to use this new logo on the new TDC signs that says, "Welcome to Franklin County."
We're gonna have to, well, I'm not gonna do this.
Yes, I'll answer yes in the affirmative. I already know your question. Yes.
Y'all know what I was fixing to say.
Yes.
I-
The answer
I
is
will not
yes.
do it.
Yeah.
I promise.
So
I will
moved.
wait until next meeting.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Ward, second by Commissioner Amison. Any additional discussion?
I
All in
will-
favor? Oh, do you have something?
Yeah, just real quick. I know that.
She's going for it.
No, I'm not gonna touch on that. I do know that some of our emblems on all the vehicles are different.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, yeah, different parts and rec. Is this, and I know that the property appraiser's office has a different emblem. Is this all gonna be the same?
Just for the county vehicles.
Just for the county?
Yeah, not for your
okay.
constitutional officers,
So
yeah.
even for like the animal control?
Yes.
all- Okay.
Yes.
Parks and rec, all right.
Yes. If you notice, the billing department, Steve has so there's the chairman, has an affection for the school. So Steve started using school colors as he puts on the billing department trucks. So rather than the older, bluer, I shouldn't speak about colors because I'm colorblind, but you know what I mean. There was a change, so, yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That's unanimous, 4-0.
And item 3 is another ARPC. We talked about that at the last meeting, the GIS amended agreement. They wanted to go up from $50 to $65 per hour, commissioners, and we needed to renew, because I think it's every year we're supposed to actually renew the contract. It's, yeah, I'm not sure if it's, I don't think it's automatic. I think I checked. It's not. So, yeah. So I just need a renewal, and to agree with this renewal, they can go up to $65 per hour. Actually, I think you approved it. I just had Attorney Schuler look at it. He's good with it. So now you can reapprove and then let the chairman sign, authorize him to sign the agreement.
I'll make a motion to approve, but with a comment.
Okay, motion to
Question.
approve by Commissioner Ward,
Second.
second by Commissioner Sanders. Commissioner Ward, please proceed.
And just for clarifications, GIS is a mapping system that our P&Z uses,
Mhm.
the whole county uses, even our 911 system uses it, doesn't it?
Not this one. The 911, don't they get a separate grant, Aaron, to use a separate GIS?
they do.
So unfortunately, you have 3D GIS maps. You have one that the property appraiser uses, the county uses this one. Ours have more information like zoning layers and different layers like that, that the property appraiser doesn't need, nor does the sheriff department at 911. So,
Okay. Thank
yeah.
you for clarifying that.
And this is also a not to exceed $10,000 a year amount. correct?
Yes, which,
Doesn't matter whether they're charging per hour, they can't spend up to a certain
but
amount.
they've never, I don't think they've
Never
even
got
gotten
close.
past half of that amount. But we just have it there just in case you guys want something done quickly, change on it, we can afford to get it done.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes.
just for the record, the motion, the second also includes the extension, if I heard that correctly. Mr.
Yeah,
Morrow?
I said renewal, but if you want to say extension, that's fine.
Because the contract needs to be extended, because I think we were under the impression it was one of those automatically extending contracts, but it was not.
Yes.
So if your intention was to include both the extension and the hourly rate increase, I just want to make sure that's clear on the record for both Commissioner Ward, who's nodding in the affirmative, and the second for Commissioner Sanders includes the extension, and she's nodding in the affirmative. Thank you very much. I just want the record clear.
Okay. All in favor? All opposed? That's unanimous.
Item 4, Commissioners, and I'm trying to summarize so we can move on. Yeah, last meeting, we talked about CareerSource looking for new office space. They looked at the Armory, what used to be the old ship office over in the Armory. They love it. Attorney Schuler and them has worked out an agreement. I got email yesterday evening, that they're good with your edits, or with your updates to the agreement. And so we have an agreement with them for $400 a month to use the ship office, what we used to be the ship office in the Armory. And I explained to you guys at the last meeting, that is something that Mark and Fonda likes, because they like having somebody in the Armory on a daily basis. In case there's an issue, we can fix it before doing a rental, there's a leak in the roof, or the bathrooms aren't working, et cetera.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Amison,
Second.
second by Commissioner Sanders. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? That's unanimous.
Item 5, Commissioners, the East Point Civic Association, they need a 6-month extension on their FDOT-funded highway beautification project. They want to extend the deadline to December 31st. The county applied for this grant on behalf of the East Point Civic Association. There is no cost of the extension. However, the chairman's signature will be required on some of the letters that have to go to FDOT for this extension.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Ward, second by Commissioner Sanders. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? That's unanimous.
Again, Commissioners, at the last meeting, we talked about reducing the speed limit on Brownsville Road because of some of the issues Commissioner Amison brought to your attention. You heard this morning Attorney Schuler talk about that. You can reduce it to 30 miles per hour. Commissioner Amison, and I say this every time, he uses charm with the city of Apalachicola, and they agreed. I think there are 2 blocks, 2, 3, 2.5, roughly blocks of Brownsville Road. That's within the city. Yeah, he did some good trading, and they agreed to it. So, where do we want to go from here? Do we need a public hearing, Mr. Attorney Schuler?
We do not.
Oh,
And just so the board knows, I did contact Dan Hartman, who is also the city attorney for the city of Apalachicola, and shared with him my research on the Florida statute for the Uniform Traffic Code and the presumption that in residential and business districts, the speed limit should be 30 miles per hour, and shared all that information with him. So when he goes back to his client to discuss the speed limit reduction, he has all that information in hand.
so did I put as an action item on my next?
Yes, it would
report?
need, to reduce the speed limit in the area of the county, that would need to be by board action.
So is the board good with that? Add that as my June 6th report action item. Commissioner Emerson, you good? Okay, I'll get that done. June 6th, okay. Item 7, beach fires. So staff, by staff, mostly myself and Courtney, residents have been complaining there's an increased number of beach fires in St. George Island. The main issue is they always leave whatever they use for the fire, they leave it right there. Sometimes they cover it with sand, sometimes they don't. That is presenting a safety problem. Attorney Schuler, years ago, did we not have litigation where we had a claim against us for a beach fire?
Yeah.
You do
Yep.
remember, Commissioner
We
Sanders?
did.
I think
Yep.
that is
Yep.
Yeah,
correct.
it took a
Yes.
long time to go
Yeah.
to court.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Stop,
Com-
she stepped on the coal
Mhm.
and burned her feet all up.
yep. So, Commissioners, I'm just wondering what we would like to do about that.
Well, we have no ordinance, so we can't, but again, it's an enforcement thing too. I don't know, I mean, that's bad.
Ordinance, can we add it to leave no trace, even though that's only from May 1st until, that's only for turtle season, basically? I mean, is it a year-round issue? Does it get worse in the winter? So, basically, I'm hearing this is not warming fires, this is party fires,
And I
basically.
thought we
you
already
know?
had an
Yeah,
ordinance
that's
against.
what I was thinking to say.
Yes.
I'm sorry,
We got
Mr.
one.
Chairman, I'm sorry.
It is,
Yeah.
I was trying to think in my brain, isn't this something that's come up before where we have an ordinance about warming fires versus regular
Old Carabel
fires?
Beach,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am, we do, but it's confined to Old Carabel Beach for warming
Just
fires.
that one,
The
Yeah.
mullet fishing.
Well, if I could, Mr. Morone contacted me about the citizen complaints that he was receiving, and so I did a deep dive into your ordinances and reported back to him that the only ordinance on the books is the ordinance that allows warming fires on Old Carabel Beach. Commissioner Sanders may know better than I do why that happened, because frankly, I don't recall. But there is no general prohibition, and I think Mr. Morone and Commissioner Sanders are correct. It's been a long time ago. Someone did file a claim against the county because they stepped on some really hot embers, like, which beach, was it Carabel or St. George?
St.
St.
George.
George.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was St. George.
St. George.
So it would need to be a separate ordinance if the board wants to move forward with regulating fires on the public beaches.
I think we definitely need to find out more about it. But we don't need to, we need to do what's best for the safety of everyone. And I am not in favor of doing any more ordinances we can enforce.
I agree with that.
I am about had it with that.
I wasn't
That's all I'll say.
recommending that the board move forward with the ordinance.
Yes.
I'm just saying that if the board wanted
Yes.
to regulate this matter, it would need to be by ordinance.
Yes.
So it could be, once you guys, at any time in the future, just signal me as to what you want to do, and I'll add it to my
Yes.
report as an action item.
Yes.
Or something that you want, have the attorney to look at.
And Mr. Ron, I don't know how you receive these requests or these complaints.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's through the concerns portal.
One was,
Yeah.
one was a gentleman that just came into the office and we had a
But,
discussion.
but we need to make sure we address it and let them know that we have discussed it. We've not said no, but we gotta find a clear path forward to go forward.
Okay, works for
I
me.
mean, not just to be going forward, just to be going forward.
Okay. Item 8, take a deep breath here. So, there's been discussion between the Senior Citizens Council from Carabel, I think the executive board, and Ms. Lisa Bress of Area Agency on Aging, which there's another name that they use now, regarding the use of the Senior Citizen Center, which is located in Carabel, as a congregate center for the senior citizens that were displaced when the Garden Club building was closed. Recently, I sent you an email, I believe last week, indicating that discussions are not going too well between Ms. Bress and the Senior Citizen Council Board. Ms. Bress informed me, and I'm gonna leave that statement there, Ms. Bress informed me that Area Agency on Aging is willing to transfer the Garden Club building to the county, but they would need some assistance from the county attorney. You guys have expressed your willingness to own that building for those seniors, and so I asked Attorney Schuler to contact Ms. Bress, which he did, and they're working on it, and hopefully he will have some kind of update on June 6th, depending on what she asked him to do about how we can transfer ownership of that building. And I say all this to make sure that I'm in the same accord with the board, that we do want to, based on the emails and what's been going back and forth, that we do want to try and get ownership of the garden club, do the repairs that needs to be done, and open it back up as a congregate site. Are we all on the same page with that? I mean, we tried the route of working with the council. You guys saw the email, you saw how that's going. So make sure we're all good.
Mr. Chairman, all I want with this is we need to serve our senior citizens of our community. I don't like the back and forth with, we want this, but we don't want this part of that. You know, it's either one and all, and I'm not trying to demean anybody or say anything, but, you know, our seniors need a service that we give allocations for. And I know that Ms. Brett spoke about a workshop, so I'm looking forward to doing that so we can talk about this a little bit further and try to come to a conclusion that benefits everybody, not just certain individuals. That's all I want, and I'm okay with moving forward with the garden center at this point in time,
Okay. And when she-
personally.
And when she does have that meeting, I'll advertise, make sure she advertises that one or more commissioners may attend that workshop, because I know one or more commissioners will attend that workshop, so, over in Carabel. So, well, make sure that ad is run. All right, Commissioners, so I just wanted to make sure I was good and Attorney Schuler was good with that. So this is some sad news. I inform the board that basically Pat O'Connell is resigning from your LTPT, personal issues, and so I think, not to say too much publicly, but yeah, Commissioner, your chairman is looking for a replacement. I really like to thank Pat for all her hard work with this committee and for other things in the board, you know, right, Aaron? Pat's really good with us. She does a lot for us. And I know the chairman, I hate to beat you to the punch, sir, but I know you do want us to go out and get some kind of plaque and give her an award for that. But I just wanted to make sure we discuss it first at a public meeting, and then we'll have that and try to get her here as soon as we can.
Yeah.
Okay?
If she's available, Michael, if we can have it done by the next meeting,
Okay,
because we have 3 weeks.
yes.
As long as she's available to be here, because that's usually when we do our presentations in the first meeting every month. But if not, then we'll have to move it to July, but I do definitely want to do something.
Okay.
You know, we haven't got there in broadband yet, but we're working on it. We're a lot closer than we were.
Mhm.
So,
A lot closer than we were.
Some big shoes to fill.
yeah, we'll be.
Oh, let me get my little, I'm gonna share screen with this because. Okay, so, you know, we've been talking a while about the whole meeting policy and procedure, and the last time we talked about it, Commissioner Ward wanted to make sure, let's hope we're doing this right. Okay, so Commissioner Ward wanted to make sure the public was seeing they get to see the information, you know, on the agenda and do it in a way. We tried different ways of doing it, and they were getting lost because there's so much paperwork, our packets are so big. So this is what I came up with, and actually we could go to, so let's go to today's meeting, our regular meeting today. This one, so and this is the public. This is what the public gets. This is the website that we go to download this information. So basically, here's the agenda that they got yesterday, and all the information is there. I create what you call these hot links. Those are those links in blue that allow them to tap right in, which I'm tapping right now, and they get to see all the documentation that's there. Okay, let's go back. Let's go down some. The draft ordinance, hot links, the planning and zoning. Well, no, that's not. Well, yeah, we're there. So, see, that's the planning and zoning agenda with the minutes. Everything is there. Let's go back to Aaron's report. See, Aaron, myself, Attorney Schuler, we all have these hot links. And they get to see Aaron's report that is so big that it's slow. So there, see, Aaron, you're working hard, you got a big report. So, yeah. So that's what they're getting now, and that's what they get prior to the meeting. Now, let's go back. So after the meeting is over, let's go to the last meeting. Let's go to the May 2nd meeting. After today's meeting is over, all this documentation, attachments, everything we've gone through today, I take that and I add it to the agenda. So, and this is more for reference purposes. So let's go back down to Aaron's report. This is May 2nd, right, Marone? Yep, it is. So, go Go back down, let's click Erin's report again. So this time, they don't get only, not just her report, but all her attachments from the May 6th meeting. So I show the board this to see if you guys are comfortable with this, if you like this. I've gotten, I know Commissioner Jones has, so if people have reached out to me and called, John Perry and I, he kind of was my guinea pig because we were working out some of the stuff, so Donna said they love it this way. It's easy for them to find what they're looking for prior to the meeting and after the meeting. So if everybody's good with that, I think that was the only stumbling block that we had. And then I'll bring up the procedures and policies at the next meeting for approval. Because that's the only issue I thought that came up with it. Okay? All right. If the public has any questions, they feel free to call me and find out. That's that. To let you know that if you remember your mosquito control director, DeWitt, he was able to get the city of Carabel, this beaver dam removal. You guys asked him to see if they would chip in. They sure did, $9,500. So with that, since you guys have made the motion, I had the chairman sign the proposal, and DeWitt will keep you guys abreast, probably the next meeting, as to where we are with that project. But it was important to let you know that Carabel did participate in that.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve that, but at the same time, write a letter to the city of Carabel, add that to my motion, thanking them for the $9,500.
Okay.
They didn't have to.
You didn't make a motion, Commissioner, because we already,
Oh,
you already did make a motion, so I'll just send him a letter of thanks.
Okay.
Okay, that's not a problem.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you for bringing that up.
All right.
Great. Do that. And, which should have been at 1:30 today, I know people are fretting, so we have right after Attorney Schuler gives his report, this meeting is concluded, we have a workshop on our travel trailer motorhome camper ordinance. Then we have another workshop a week from today to hear from East Point Water and Sewer District representatives and the developer on a public-private workforce affordable housing partner project. I'll remind you guys again on Monday about that. I'll call you, but that's a week from today at 1:30. And then your next regular meeting is June 6th at 9 a.m. That's all I got.
Anyone have anything for Mr. Morone before we go on?
I do, but I'll get with him after,
Okay.
or tomorrow, whatever. It's been a long day.
Attorney Schuler, you're up.
We have already addressed the action items on my report. I have included 2 informational items about the county being included as a named defendant in 2 different foreclosure lawsuits. One was property that we cleaned up on Highway 98 going towards Carabel. We got an order requiring, actually it was a stipulated final judgment, requiring the abatement, and read abatement to mean the removal of a demolished house that was damaged by Hurricane Michael, and also the septic tank. But because there's a final judgment, the bank for some reason felt compelled to add us as a defendant. It's utterly without legal effect as far as I'm concerned, so I'm not going to waste any time defending that case. I mean, we didn't sign the mortgage that's being foreclosed. We didn't sign the promissory note. The other issue is in the second case, 2 old special assessment for the fire MSBU assessments. I forget when they were, but both of them are well over 10 years old. They've been sitting in the public records, so I can understand to a certain extent why we were named as a defendant, but there's less than $100 to each one of those special assessment liens. And many years ago, I couldn't tell you when, but back during the heyday when all the foreclosure suits were pending, and we were getting mortgage foreclosure suits left and right on these special assessment liens, there was board action that said, don't waste public resources fighting that. Whoever gets the property next will be paying all the future special assessments. So I don't plan on defending the second one either. But those are the informational items in my report. So unless the board has any questions for me, that concludes my time with the board.
Anyone have any questions for Attorney Schuler? Okay, thank you, sir. Commissioner comments?
Yeah, just real quick, Mr. Chairman, last meeting, I brought up the signage on 4th Street and East Point that blocking people's view. I reached out to the East Point Civic Association, and they stated they are in the process of getting new signage for East Point. And they're gonna put it up, they're actually gonna move it, it's gonna be a lot different. It may stay in the same spot, but it may be, they're gonna do something where it's not gonna block the view.
They'll reconfigure the sign
Yes.
itself, okay.
Yeah, it's not gonna stand as tall, and they're also gonna put it more at an angle.
More to angle, yep.
Yeah. Or to work better. Any other commissioner comments? In case you're not doing anything later tonight, our girls are at Liberty County playing, our softball team, Franklin County girls are playing for a regional title tonight. If they win tonight, they advance to the Final Four.
That's what I'm talking about.
The boys' baseball team did make it to regionals. They lost the regional semifinal, but the varsity girls are playing for a shot at the Final Four tonight in Liberty County.
Got a lot of talent in this community.
We sure do in this county, don't we?
Lot of talent.
A lot of
That makes it good, Franklin County going for it, and then FSU girls going for the World Series.
Sure enough.
I'm tickled to death.
Mr. Chairman, before you adjourn, I just want to know, anybody that's holding on Zoom, attending with Zoom, I'm going to have to log out of this meeting and log in, different login for the workshop. So just look online for the agenda and click on that link and just give me 5 minutes and you'll be able to log in on that
Mr. Chairman.
meeting.
We're gonna have to take 5 minutes anyway, because Mr. Royce has to tear down his stuff and kind
Yes.
of, you know what I mean? Yes.
And I'm sorry, that, I need to get this record, or this document into the official records for the county. These are the recorded documents for the abandonment of part of the end of Bay City Road, that the board approved at the last meeting. This document consists of the notice of public hearing that was held. It consists of the resolution that was adopted by the board, the resolution of abandonment, and then the final item is the notice of adoption of the resolution of abandonment. Florida statute requires all of three of those documents to be recorded, so I just wanted to spread that on the minutes of this meeting so that we can close that loop. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, the party never ends.
We do have 2 more vehicles that actually Louis from your EMS services, he was not included in the mass emails for our upcoming auction. He would like permission to include the 2006 Chevy Tahoe. It does run, but it needs a battery, and a 2008 Chevy 4500. It also still runs, but is very old and unreliable. So if we
to
can
add
add
to the
both of those
auction?
vehicles to the auction list as well.
Attorney Schuler, are we good with that? What action, I mean, are we good with taking that action? At the point of the meeting we're at?
Add those to the
Yeah, we
auction
need,
list.
by board, because you're auctioning public assets, and so they need to be, by motion and vote of the board, to
Okay.
add those.
Okay. I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Amison,
Second.
second by Commissioner Sanders. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That's unanimous. Anything else?
Now you can end the party.
All right, we're gonna take about 5 minutes, give Mr. Royce time to clear out and get set up for our public hearing.